Margaret in Windsor, and I'm going to put this is number 2 tape, and I'm going to entitle it, I don't know, yeah, I am. I'm going to entitle it so you can put it together. The video, I have 10 minutes, and it went off, and I start giving background, and it eats up all the time on the tape, and if somebody sees one and not the other, they don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, Larry Flint, I was flown out there in '83 in a political campaign. I will give this much, and I had written about mind control murders that go way back. And by the way, they tried to kill me more than one time. It's been a horror story. And I even had a letter from the FBI, and Larry Flint did this in April of '84, this endorsement. I was out there when one of the doctors I wrote about, he was a U.S. Congressman, Larry McDonald. The plane he was on was shot down in '83, and he had to have been a part of trying to kill me back April Fool Day of '80. So I didn't get the book published. Had a letter from the FBI, the U.S. Attorney, William Harper. Excuse me. Anyway, to make a long story short, I put all this up on YouTube and Instagram, and believe me, I've had trouble with those, keeping them up, and Facebook over the years. But I found out just now that some of my YouTube videos weren't allowed to be seen. I don't have anything pornographic on it. The only thing I've ever shown is Mr. Flint here, who's certainly not, at least I think that's Mr. Flint. There's a question about if he really died and was shot with a magnum in Lawrenceville when I was doing the book, and the person that shot him was programmed. So it's a question if it is written, but the man told the truth, and he's paid a price for it, but he endorsed me April of '84. So if you can call that pornography or a reason, the ones that, I don't know how many you're not able to see, but it said, I just knew it this morning, found out there's some of them, and I'm going to get to this. And, okay, let me say this. My father, again, is Edward the Eighth, I found out, and I was kidnapped, and my own uncle helped, George the illegal six, and Elizabeth has kept it up. She just doesn't answer any of it. She just uses my money, my hell, and signed treaties that gave my country away. Look at what's going on in my country, the UK, and in Australia, and et cetera, that was British. They're still British. Let's take this one. Wallace Simpson married a double, not my father. My father was married to Claudia Ruth O'Keefe Windsor. I was born in '39, kidnapped in '41. It was an illegal takedown of my father. None of that was true. And there was an addendum and a seal put on the takedown, and then I was kidnapped. I'm Victoria the second heir to the British Crown, and I've been tortured every step of the way of my life, and my sons, I don't even know where they are, Mark and Scott. Their life has been in peril. They're heirs, legal heirs after me. But what I wanted to get into, by the way, Mr. Flint did mention Larry McDonald, Congressman Doctor I wrote about, whose plane went down when it veered it, well, the passenger plane veered into Russian airspace August the 31st of '83. So now I want to get back to this, if I can finish it here. I told about murders being done in patterns using mind control, and this has been going on a long time. Back before the Watergate hearings, I just couldn't explain how they were being done other than they were being done in patterns. And later I found out it was mind control when I worked for doctors and started doing the book in '75, '76 till April Fool Day of '80. So now I want to get to this. Larry Flint was shot in Lawrenceville, Georgia while I was doing the book, March of '87. I'm sorry, '78, March of '78. I was flown out there later in '83, and then I ended up, he showed me the galley proof of Jerry Falwell when I was out there, the parody, and I thought, I have only met him once before. He showed me that in October of '83. I was in his home, and he was very nice to me, they were. Anyway, I never knew that the reason he sent it to me or showed it to me is things were pre-planned. He was here. I ended up in Roanoke, Virginia, living on the Appalachian Trail. I won't go through that again. My jobs were shut down, places to stay. I was literally sleeping on the side of the road, no money. Uh, anyway, he was brought to Roanoke, and his probate, can you get this, for telling the truth? That's all I've ever done. The laws have been done against me, committed against me. But he was here in Roanoke in the Poff Building Federal. Jerry Falwell sued him in the parody and freedom of speech. Mr. Flint's probation officer, who was local, he was black, and his name was Ennis. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. This is a word association. As in, Simpson did not marry my father. She married a double, helped take him down. And Simpson as in O.J. Simpson. And I'm going to put this and I'm going to say this, one of the FBI agents, when I had a car furnished by Flint for a year, till 84, winter of 84, or about that time, I'm trying to get this up. One of the agents that was retired, Noe, N-O-E, came in all the time, gassed up. He said to me, they've made it, he was talking about the FBI, so ludicrous that people know you're telling the truth, it gives them a chance to help you or walk away. Well, they walk or they go along with law enforcement to do things against me, which is assault. It's all kinds of crimes that make my life a living hell, by the way, and certainly against the law. But that was one of the uses of the name Simpson that ties into the murders, mind control murders. And so I want to get to this. The Ennis, when I was up on the Appalachian Trail, starving and freezing and begging for food, to stay off of the highway, walking on the highway begging, and the Mr. Flint came here, and the probation officer's name was Ennis. I said that. So later, the rangers up there, there's more to that, but I'm just going to say this right now. They locked me up on several occasions, and I could have spent 6 months in prison in federal up there. And it was lies. Nobody ever tells the truth about it. It was a horror story. But anyway, here is here's what the federal judge, I've forgotten his name, Conrad, the first couple of times I was there, I think I was locked up there about 4 different times. But anyway, I was supposed to, the first time, pay a fine of $15. I didn't have it. So the attorney that I did get at the time, but the only thing they did was pay the $15. They didn't represent me or anything. They just paid the $15. So the judge ordered Ennis. Here's Larry Flint, the black probation officer that was assigned to him when he was here at the Poff building, ahead of me, or I don't know, I may have been here at the time up on the Appalachian Trail, which is weird if you stop and ask, why did he do all this and not even contact me? So anyway, the judge ordered Ennis to find me a place to live. Well, I went in there and sit on a whoopee cushion. You know what that sounds like. That's supposed to be a joke. Okay, Ennis, the black probation officer, goes through all these Salvation Army, rescue mission, etc., and nobody will let me stay. Like I'm this dirty little criminal that's committed a crime. So I turned out on the street walking, and I ended up in Withful and ended up being bought a ticket not to live somewhere, but to Montreal, to Canada. I ended up being turned around and stayed in Albany and horrible Troy up there, and ended up, so it's a long story of hell is what it is. The association I'm trying to tell you is Ennis Cosby is the son of, now then I'm getting ahead of myself and everything. You know who's being sued up there now, I Spy. and he was the family doctor on TV. That I don't know why I'm forgetting his name.